because a lot of people are very confused with regards to their purpose and their passion, and they want some guidance. And so, for the listeners, they want to know, how is it that you found your passion for you to carry through into photography and turn it into a business? Hello and welcome to the Discover with Spinati podcast. Today we are interviewing Tami. She is a photographer out of Mississauga, and she's got a very interesting story. We're going to talk about her story of her business development in photography. Now, with regards to Tami specifically, Tami is a very dynamic and multifaceted photographer, marketer, teacher, singer. Yes, she does all of those things, whose journey is as captivating as her images. And if you look at her images on her platforms, you'll be very captivated. Tami's passion for photography began as a hobby in Saudi Arabia in 2012 and blossomed into a serious pursuit when she immigrated to Canada in 2014. She studied in Sheridan, has photography in food, wedding, and portrait industries, has done solo exhibition in Syria in 2021 titled Roots, and has held multiple workshops, teaches others how to start their own photography business, and a myriad of other things. She is the modern Aristotle of photography. She has a unique perspective on grit and how to become a successful businesswoman in 2024. Please help me welcome Tami. Tami, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for your amazing introduction. So, yeah, as you said, my name is Tami. I immigrated to Canada in 2014. Photography was my hobby. And then, I studied mass communication media in Saudi Arabia. I have a degree. But still, photography, my favorite career, let's say. It started as a hobby, and then I decided to use that hobby as in my business, and turn it to another path.
So before we get started on the nitty gritty detail, I just want to know about your background briefly. So who you are, where did you grow up, and then if you can lead us into how did you discover photography as your passion? Because a lot of people are very confused with regards to their purpose and their passion, and they want some guidance. And so, for the listeners, they want to know, how is it that you found your passion for you to carry through into photography and turn it into a business?
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Syria. I can tell my age. I feel confident about that. In 1983, and I got married when I was actually 19. It's very very young.
You started early.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it has a good side actually. I'll tell you later. So then I moved to Saudi Arabia. I lived in Saudi Arabia for 10 years with my husband and then I got 2 kids in Saudi Arabia, and I studied mass communication in Saudi Arabia. Then we traveled to Europe, just for fun. I had my small camera, the traditional camera. I got so amazing photos there. Then okay, I found okay, I have a passion. So why I don't learn? I don't improve that passion to get more professional photos in future when I travel with my kids and my family. So in Saudi Arabia, photography wasn't like now. Now photography is great in Saudi Arabia. They have actually education centers and this stuff. But when I was that time, I had difficulties to find some centers and teachers can help me learning photography. But I found a very good education and for art in general. And I had my first course there. And after that, we moved to Canada in 2014. Here, in Canada, photography is very, very common, as a career, even not only passion and hobby. So I searched. I started actually before Sheridan College. I started attending workshops in many community centers here in Mississauga, Toronto as well. I joined many groups. Some of them were Saudi Arabic groups, and others that were Canadian. And I learned from both. I had so many. It's very good when you have the friends, photographers, We help each other. We learn from each other. We give like feedbacks and this feedback and this stuff. So it's very very helpful. So yeah, after that I decided to go further and to go to Sheridan College. I had my certificate, and also I had many friends in Sheridan. We are still like meeting each other, working with each other, doing some workshops. We sometimes we have models to practice new ideas and this stuff. So yeah, and while I was studying at Sheridan College, I decided to open my official business when I felt more confident. And of course, like in Sheridan, they teach us how to open business in Canada. Yeah, so after that, of course, I had another path, let's say, with marketing. I studied advertising and marketing communication management at Sheridan College too. I have advanced diploma, uh, and it's very helpful. I work with both of them because they are related. I use my photography in the marketing. I use my marketing in photography, so they are related and they are very like a close careers to each other. Like I can use both of them and work with both of them.
So I mean, that's very interesting. So what you did was that you discovered your passion because you were traveling to Europe for fun.
Yeah.
Now, now you said you discovered your passion. Is it because you saw that you were really good at it, or was it a lot of people were complimenting you? And why? And and why is it that you saw yourself as a photographer? Why not discover something else? Like what is it that really gravitated you towards that?
Yeah. In Europe, especially in Italy, I met so many professional photographers with their camera and their lenses, and they're like they look amazing for me. They look very like attractive, and then I had so many photos in Italy with Burj Pisa, uh, for me, for my husband, and then I people asked me actually to get the photos for them. I did so many other photos for people, for public people, like when they hold the Burj Pisa, this like small things.
The
So,
typical pose, yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes, that you see on Instagram,
But
yes.
not everyone like was able to do it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I can do it for you. I can do it. So I have passion. I was very happy while I was doing that. And my birthday, my husband gave me a gift after Europe trip. He gave me a gift like a camera, DSLR camera. That was my first DSLR camera I have in my entire life. And actually, it was for me like, what? The lens is like separate and it has different price and what's going on here? So yeah, then I decided to dive into it. I searched about it, especially when we're planning to come to Canada. And I searched about like what's like if I want to come here, I need to find a job. Where should I go in my degree and in my knowledge? So of course, like if I want to work as journalism, I need to study more, like maybe 4 or 5 years with the language. I came here with my language like it was like level 3 and 4. It was very very bad. So I needed like 1 year in English. So and then okay, photography. I searched about photography. Photography is very good here, like in the marketplace in Canada, because it's not like our countries. Here in Canada, they make it very professional. The website calls. I mean, when you do website, you need like good photos for headshots, for products, for everything, social media, even magazines, everywhere. So they ask for photographers for weddings, for newborn, for food. It's more common here in Canada more than Saudi Arabia or Syria or our countries. So yeah, that was like my main reason, let's say, to dive into it, to go more deeply, like learn about it more, and have it as a official business.
And so right now you've been in the business for how long? And and you're serving what kind of industries?
Yeah, like around 9 year, 8 years, 9 years, something like this. Because when I started with my friends. I don't know if you heard about the Canadian Arabic Orchestra. I
Mm.
was a choir member. Still, I'm a choir member and singer with them. But I mean, like in that time, they asked for a photographer to do their headshots. So I raised my hand. I said, "Can I do it for you guys for free? I just want to practice and use your photos in my portfolio." And they said, "Yeah, of course you can do it." They supported me a lot. And yeah, and I did actually their headshots. And if you go to their website right now, you can see my
It's still the
first,
same.
my
Wow.
first
And this was initially, like this was one of your first clients, like your free
exactly,
clients.
oh,
Okay.
like exactly. That was like my first client, and I bought the background and the stuff for them to do this photo session, and starting from there, okay, because I get great feedback from them. They also hired me to be their official photographer for their festival. There is
Wow.
like, Festival of Arabic Music and Arts. It's an annual festival.
Now did you do that while you were studying, before you were studying, or after you studied?
No, no, no. That was like when I was just started doing, not studying at Sheridan College, doing the workshops here, like around me in the community centers and this stuff. And actually, I was also with the Saudi group in Toronto that time. So, and I did actually like 7 concerts in a row in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And also, I had like amazing photos for the very popular artists from Syria, from Iraq, from they came here to Canada. They invited them, and I did the for photo sessions, and I was like so proud of the results. And I very like I didn't even charge them a lot because I wasn't confident about the results. I told them this is my first time I do this kind of photography, so I'm not gonna charge you a lot. Let's say I'm practicing. I just need like small fees, yeah, to cover my expenses, and that's it. So
Wow.
yeah,
So that's incredible. So you started off with the choir, okay,
yeah,
as your first client.
yeah.
And then what happened afterwards? Because obviously for you to become good and for you to become impressive to the choir people, you would have to have studied it more detail before.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
so I mean, you said that you joined some workshops, you joined communities. So at what point, so did you wait was that your opportunity? Did you try before to get clients and they said no? Did you experience any failures? Like what was the point up until that point?
actually,
How much time did you dedicate per day for you to practice? How did you find out, what works, what doesn't work? If
yeah,
you can walk us through that.
yeah. I needed 1 year. When I came to Canada, I needed 1 year to understand the marketplace, to understand how to work with the clients, to understand the needs of their expectations, like what they want. How do I work with them? I didn't have any experience even back home with clients, so I was learning, practicing with like my friends and this stuff. But actually, like having an actual client with the actual like a contract and this stuff, that was like my first time. Before that, I was exploring everything. So, for example, I was assistant for other photographers, for other professional photographers. I just asked them, if you need the second shooter, I'm ready to go with you and to learn. So I learned a lot from my being assistant for other photographers. And but like being the main photographer, that was like my first experience, my first client. They were like the Canadian Arabic Orchestra. When I say the Canadian Arabic Orchestra, it's a huge group. So some of them were musicians, some of them were singers, and even these musicians and singers, they have other businesses. They asked me to do for example, one of them was writer, so he needed some photos for his book. So I did this photo shoot for them. So they also like guided me to other businesses. When I started posting these photos on my social media, the clients started actually asking about me. Of course, I went to many Facebook groups, and I introduced myself into these groups as a photographer. Of course, I had my website. I work on my everything. I work everything by myself because I didn't have budget for this business. every single cent I get from this business, I saved it for the equipments, because like equipments are very, very, very expensive, and like you need good equipments to show your client like you are professional, not like taking their money and doing in a low quality. And you need to upgrade your equipment every time. Like I don't know, like until now. So yeah, so I started.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Okay, so now you told us, and this I think this is very beneficial. I think what you did was that when you came to Canada, you joined groups, but then you also started volunteering as an assistant
Yeah,
to kind of be mentored, so like indirectly mentored,
yeah,
because you started seeing what other photographers were doing. I
yeah.
bet you anything that you asked them questions with regards to how they do certain things, and then you started getting a more viewpoint of how to do it. Now, before you even entered into Sheridan, you decided that you wanted to try it out because you have a little bit of equipment. Now I have a couple questions. One is that how did you come about, because you said you had your own website, so how did you come about to build your own website when you didn't have any experience doing that? And second, why is it that you felt that you had to go into Sheridan to study when you already had clients and they already loved your work? Why did you feel the need to actually go to school?
Mhm. So the first question is, my husband helped me a lot. He actually guided me to do the website, because he knew like the marketplace here in Canada more than me, because of like his work, because he started working like right after he came here to Canada. So he said like the website here in Canada is the most official resource for you. So you have to start working on your website. So this is like, and not only this one, even the advertisements, even going to social, like he helped me a lot. He was like, let's say my manager or something like this. Yeah. So, and the other question is like the reason that I decided to go to Sheridan College, like in photography, um, passion is not enough. Even like when you watch lots of videos, when you do so many photos and getting the feedback, you still feel like I need to go to do academic something, because I was planning actually to, like, every time I had a workshop with someone, I dreamed like to be one day that instructor. So that's why I wanted to feed my passion with academic certificate. So when I go and teach, it's very important to show them like your education, like you actually studied, and not only for the image, for the actual knowledge, because I learned a lot from Sheridan College. And sometimes I had, like, I remember I showed my professor like some photos. He said like, you are very professional. I told him, I know, like my photo is amazing, but I want to know why is my photo is amazing. So that question why, I got it from the academic studying.
Now, do you think that now that you've actually studied with Sheridan and you've gone through all this stuff, you don't think that you could have actually gained all this information and this knowledge without going to formal schooling?
Definitely, definitely. Because
So
I have so many other photographers. They didn't go to Sheridan College. They, for example, they studied online. They get some classes or courses online, and they
there are a lot of famous photographers that haven't gone to
exactly,
school.
exactly. This is an option. This is just
Mm.
like this is an option. So because for me, when I see like a photographer educated, like saying I have I don't know, diploma, certificate, a degree, whatever. So it gives me more like let's say like not different view, but okay. So it's educated, but of course, it's like any other art. We know so many artists, like they were like dentist, and they paint. They didn't go to schools, but of course they learn. Nowadays, like we are lucky to have social medias, like to have YouTube and online courses. So we have many other paths. Like it doesn't mean like Sheridan College is the only option or the perfect option. No, it's just an option.
So if someone wanted to go into photography, Okay, so they said, okay, yes, I love photography. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. I know it's my passion because I like to take pictures. What would you say? And they don't want to go to Sheridan. They don't want to go to college. They don't want to study formally. They just want to get right into it. What would you say would be the, let's say, 3 steps or 4 steps that they should take in order for them to become competent enough for them to land their first client?
Yeah. So like everyone gives like these advices based on their own experience. So based on my own experience, first of all, I asked this. I don't know. Let's say a girl. I don't know why I imagine this is like a girl, or a man. Doesn't matter. So first of all, I asked them to buy to buy a DSLR camera. This is the first step, and to have a decision to use the manual setting. If they are not going to do this, so you don't need to go, because this is like the first step. They need to understand this is very important. Second of all, they have to start. Let's say start on YouTube for beginners. Photography is you can learn photography from YouTube and online, but from my experience, from my own experience, when you go with someone and take the photo and get the actual feedback right away on your photo, because you have so many challenges and so many like like what I don't understand this, where should I find this, because you are learning the gear that you are using, and you are learning the skill too. So when you have an instructor or a teacher with you, it makes your learning journey easier for you. Like it's like seriously, it's easier for them when you get the feedback right away and how to solve this problem right away. If you have problem in lighting, problem in let's say in the tool in the gear by itself, like where should I find the ISO and this stuff, how can I increase this, do this, so many questions. Having like learning photography from online YouTube and paid courses, it's an option too. But like going with actual classes and like taking actual photos right away, taking the feedback right away, it's much easier for them to learn.
Okay, so you're saying that for them to start learning, let's say they don't want to go into college, for them to start learning, they have to first get a camera, and it has to be DSLR, and they
Yeah.
have to be committed to using only the manual options.
Yes.
Okay, nothing automatic.
No.
Okay, so that's step number 1. Get a camera and understand that you're committed to manual only. Okay, now step 2 is, I kind of got indirectly from you, is that they should get some kind of mentor, something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they should be learning using some kind of online resource like YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of, so you're saying that those are the steps. Now, at what point can they then feel confident enough, or would you advise them to be like, okay, you can go out now and get your first client? At what point do you say that? Or do you have advice for them to get to that stage?
Yes. Again, from my experience, go with other photographer as an assistant. You have to see actually how the photographer is acting during the session, because it's there is another level of having a client, the communication with the client, how to communicate with the client, how to make them comfortable before doing the session, because this client is your model, and this model is supposed to be like let's say I'm talking about headshot photography, so they have to be calm, they have to be like relaxed, they have to love themselves before they get the picture. So you need to communicate with them, you need to learn how to make them happy before this. So I advise them definitely to go with other photographers, professional photographers, as an assistant. There are many, many groups on Facebook. Actually, I know on Facebook, and I am open for any advice to any new beginner like photographers.
So people can reach out to you if they have any questions.
Definitely,
Maybe you can be a mentor if you have time.
of course.
Okay.
Of course, I don't mind, and for free,
Yeah.
no matter.
Okay.
So
So okay, so for them to join communities, for them to find a mentor, and
Yeah.
then at what point can they then actually get a client? What point do you say you're ready to get your first
Yeah.
client?
So when you go with other photographer, you help them, you assist them. So definitely you have to have a deal with them. So I can go for free with you, but I need to build my portfolio. So it's okay if I get, for example, 10 photos of this photo session. If they are going to do, let's say, newborn photography, can I get two, three photos from you, from your client, just to build my portfolio, and then I go with you just for free to learn and to help you. This is very, very important agreement with the photographer and the assistant. But it's very important to go and to see how they act with the client, how they act during the session, how fast they have to be, and calm. And it's not easy being a photographer in a location with,
Do
let's say,
you
for 10 days, 10 days old.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a system. So do you have a system where, like, you have a, for instance, like a checklist where you say, okay, first get information from client or get certain kinds of information from client, then two, find out what they want in terms of, what the requirements are, location and all that stuff, and exactly, maybe get them to send you some samples from different areas where they've seen it, maybe on social media or whatever, get an idea as to what they're looking for. And then step three, give them maybe instructions on what you're looking for props, what you're expecting from them, how much time you're looking to spend with them. Step four, do you have like a checklist that you've built for yourself?
Yeah, of course. And
Okay.
every client has different checklist. Every client, because for wedding, I have to meet the couples before their wedding and in advance, like maybe 3 months, 4 months in advance. So every client is different. For example, for restaurants, when I do food photography, I prefer to go to their location to see before the session, to see the light and what and even the space, to decide what kind of equipment I have to bring with me. And during the meeting, usually, if I have, like, for example, some assistants or some new beginner photographers are asking me to be my assistant, so I ask this client, "Do you mind if I bring my friend?" So the client supposed to know and supposed to be aware of everything is going to be during his session. So yeah, every client has different checklist.
And at what point do you, so okay, so then I'm just trying to see it from the perspective of someone who wants to start a photography business. So now you're saying, first get a camera, make sure that you do manual. Second, make sure that you are learning consistently on YouTube, or maybe get a course. I'm guessing you would probably endorse that, like, because there's a lot of good courses
Lot.
online. And then you're saying get a mentor, understand how the operations work, understand how how composed you have to be, how prepared you have to be, what kind of things you have to ask the client, maybe even try to learn about, contracts and whatnot. And at what point do you then, because I mean, at some point you have to sell your services. So at what point then do you then start, because I'm obviously someone who's into art isn't very comfortable at sales. That's why they've gone into art. So at what point then do you tell them, okay, now you have to go and ask for money, or come up with a contract? How did you develop that, and how would you advise someone who has no idea how to do that to actually do that part? Because that part, I think, is probably the most difficult. Uh,
It's,
well, out of the whole journey, probably one of the most difficult.
yeah, one of the most difficult things. Yeah, it's like, when you work with businesses, so they are already, like, aware. They know, like, you will charge them, and you will, like, have a price list, and they ask for this. The businesses, they ask for this. If you are talking, if I am working B2B, like, not for clients, for actual, like, individual clients, but for other clients, let's say, you said, like, art is different, like, if being artists is different.
Yeah, I mean, an artist isn't really a salesperson,
uh,
right?
Agree and disagree, because, like, at the end of the story, I am an artist, but this is my job. This is my
Right.
So if I am a chef, the chef is kind of art, like when he create the dish and this stuff. But this is like his job. So
Right.
he needs to be confident on and understanding this point. Like even I don't know, like sometimes I say to my dentist, "You're an artist because you make my smile is perfect." So he's, but this like it's a art, it has art, but at the end of the story, this is like my source income.
Right.
So
But in terms of sales, because let's say for instance someone asks you for the price, a lot of people, maybe you're comfortable doing it, and I'm guessing that you are, but a lot of people are not very comfortable in discussing price. And
no,
so
they
what
have to
what
know
would be your advice for that?
they have they have to know their value. They have to know their like photographers are very, they have a huge value. Like, so if I understand my value and understand how I am like growing other businesses, I am effective, and I am helping other businesses to grow, so then I have to be confident asking about my money. Like, this is like my price. I don't want to overprice. I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my question. So then how do you determine what the cost would be? Like how do you determine what your cost is versus what the usual cost is?
So, okay, this is a very, very good question, and I had difficulties to get like the last decision of my price list, let's say. So, first of all, when you talk to a business, you have to know their budget, because it's very important to get your to put your price list based on the client's budget. So because it's, if it's a big business, a huge business, let's say if I'm working for I don't know, like
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah. So actually, McDonald's, they work with agencies, and the photographers work with these agencies. So it's different. But let's say, so, and they, like their income is very high. I'm not going to charge them like small businesses when I go to the small businesses. This is an option. The other option, you have to decide from the beginning: are you working with the small businesses, or are you working with big businesses? So working with the small businesses, it keeps you working all the time. Like, I mean, like you will have clients all the time because small businesses are running every time. But working with huge or like branded businesses, so it's difficult to get like one client or three clients, let's say in a month or in 2 months. It's long term, but it gives you more benefits.
It gives you more pay,
Yeah, more pay.
right? Yeah. So then
Exactly.
how do you decide? How do you decide what to charge them?
Like for me, because I work with small businesses, I don't work with the big branding brands. So I don't know how to go with the big ones. I give advices based on my experience. So my experience with the small business, and I'm so happy with this experience because they are still running. Most of my clients, they are still asking for me. So I have clients since I don't know, like 7 years, and they keep.
Wow.
Yeah, like 2 days ago, a client reminded me, said, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Oh wow, you're still like working on your business?" Yes, yes. So, yeah, for me, I can give advices based on my experience in small businesses.
Have
So,
you have you ever charged, or have you ever asked for something and the business owner said, "Oh, that's too much"?
yeah, of course, yeah, of
And
course.
and and what did you do? Did you then reduce the price, or did you say we can't work together then?
No, like I have, because listen, like when I decided to do my price list, it wasn't like by my like choice. No, I searched a lot, and I searched a lot of other competitors, how they, because some of the photographers, they put the price list actually on their websites. So I searched, I knew how the marketplace is running, is going on. I don't like to go lower than what they are taking. Sometimes I see their job. If I value my work higher, I raise my price. If I see like they are similar to my level, then I give the same price. So you have to search about other competitors, how they like what is their price list, and then you have to work like similar to that price,
And
because
then,
of
and,
course,
and then price it accordingly, right?
yes,
So what you're saying is, okay, so you're saying, let's say I want to get into photography. So the first step I'm going to do, I'm going to go and get my DSLR camera. I'm going to make sure that I only use manuals. I need to learn how to do that. I'm going to enroll in a course, and I'm going to study diligently. I'm going to get a mentor. and then I'm going to become an assistant to some photographer or multiple photographers. And I want to do that in as short a time as possible. And I'm going to be practicing taking photos at the same time with
Yeah.
different people for free so that I can get my experience up as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to compare my work with
That's
the work of
right
the
now.
experienced photographers and see how good I am compared to them, and then come up with a price list. Does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Makes
Okay.
sense. But like, well, after this journey, they don't need to go for free. They need to cover. I told you, like my first client, the Canadian Arabic Orchestra, I like the first session with them. I told them I'm not gonna charge you a huge amount because
Mm,
I need to cover my expenses. So when you have a client and you have this journey of learning, like having going assisting, like going assist as an assistant with other photographer. So then go ahead and try this photographer and tell the client, try this client and tell them, this is my first time I do this. That's why I'm gonna charge you this little amount just to cover my expenses. For me, I don't advise anyone to work for free. It's not fun. It's not fun. Uh, Definitely don't work for free. Work for example, to build your experience, to build your
portfolio.
portfolio.
Right.
Yeah, don't work like just for fun, and because this is your actual job. So yeah.
How do you increase? So if obviously there's a lot of competition with different photographers. So how do you outcompete them? One, and two, how do you provide more value than the other photographers can provide?
When you keep like you have to keep watching others work. You have to keep not following them, but I mean like discovering the marketplace and the other competitors, and of course keep learning. For even me, I'm planning right now to do a workshop in US. uh,
Mm.
we have to keep learning, we have to keep attending.
Wait, you're teaching the workshop or you're attending the workshop?
No, attending right now.
Attending. Wow. So you're still learning.
Right now I'm teaching. I have two students. I'm teaching them privately, and I did workshops, many workshops here in Mississauga, and still I need to learn. We need to learn. This is like it's an art. It doesn't stop. You have to keep improving your skills. You have to follow the trends all the time. Specifically nowadays, of course, you know that everyone has access to social media, so they know like the good photo and bad photo, not like before. So
So
you
let
have
me
to
let me
work
ask you,
harder.
yeah, let me ask you a question with regards to income. So with
Mhm.
regards to a photographer that wants to start, is this a good source of income for someone who wants to make this into a career, or do they have to have a side job?
Yes, in the first year, uh, actually, I spent money on my business. I did not earn any dollar. The benefits or the money comes after that, but expect in the first year to spend more than, not more than, you will get zero, and you will spend a lot because you need to spend money on the equipment, on the workshops, learning and this stuff. You're like, when you, for example, when I used to go to Toronto, I live in Mississauga, and I used to go to Toronto to attend group photographers. We used to walk in downtown Toronto and take pictures for each other, for buildings, for everything. And my car, my gas, my parking, everything, I paid for it, and without any income. So yeah, expect in the first year zero income. You have to have a side job. You have to have a side job for your life to live, to survive. But I mean, after that, yeah, you can earn money enough if you work on it, and if you market your business. First of all, you have to know your value. First of all, and second of all, you have to market your value. You market your job, and yeah, it's a good
Okay, so
actually.
it's okay. So how many clients does someone need to have per month in order for them to make this a viable career?
Like
In order for that for this to be like a full-time job
Yeah, like for example, if you are a wedding photographer, you have to have two clients in a month. That's
per
enough.
month.
Yeah, more than
Okay.
enough. But this is the thing. Weddings are seasonal. So
Mm.
most of the weddings happened in the summer. So of course, in the summer you might have two weddings in a month, but in the winter and fall and the beginning of spring, no, you weddings like gets zero. So then that's why I this is my other advice for all beginner photographers. You have to have more than bath, more than let's
More
say
than one niche, right?
m-
So you have to
yeah,
diversify.
yeah, more than one type of photography. So wedding, if you have wedding, you go ahead and have newborn skills. It's very very good for, and I prefer wedding. I mean newborn photography for female more than male because I feel like female more confident working with the newborn babies. But for male, let's say family photography, headshot photography, product photography, food photography. It's good even if you want to put the videography beside your photography since you have the equipment. Of course, like video has other additional equipments, different equipment sometimes,
And
but
you don't do videography. You do strictly photography.
so for now, no, I only do photography. I focus on
Photography.
photography, and
Okay.
because photography and marketing are more than enough for me right now.
So if someone wanted to supercharge and really move super forward, like they don't want to wait a year, they want this as soon as possible. What would be your crazy advice shortcut for someone looking back at your experience? What would you do to accelerate your knowledge and your experience so that you can land your client within, I don't know, 6 months? Like cut it in half.
Yeah,
Instead of waiting a year, you cut it in 6 months.
it is. It is. It's possible actually in 6 months. It's possible, but I mean, like they have to expect some mistakes, some like, and they have to be ready to face these kind of mistakes. But it's
So what would be the shortcut? Would it be just exactly the same advice, but just
yeah, yeah.
make it so
That's
that you
what-
are doing a lot more in a shorter period of time?
yeah, trust me. Like you cannot have a client, and because having a client is easy, but making this client coming back to you, this is the most difficult part. So having a client and losing that client is very easy, but this is not what we are looking for.
We want to
And
keep the client.
exactly.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so if you want to have this client, you have to know how to deal with them. As I said in the beginning, like just if you don't want to go as an assistant, you have to like let's say practice on your own client. You have to keep them in that image. Tell them that.
Now, now in any business, obviously there's a lot of failures that people experience. I'm sure you've experienced yours.
Yeah.
What would you say would be your biggest failure, and how did you not let it stop you? Because a lot of us get really discouraged when we get failures. So how did it not discourage you? So tell us about a failure in your journey of the photography and how you kept going and why you kept going.
Yeah. So I remember I had a very bad situation, and of course it didn't happen again because I knew how to solve this problem. So I'm gonna call it like a client expectations. This is a very very important thing. We need to work on it. So I was doing a wedding photography for a client, and they actually had an idea in their mind. And as I said, nowadays like social media and Pinterest, you know, like inspiration, like it's very easy for anyone to find like amazing photos, and sometimes these photos doesn't match their like what we have in the actual wedding. So for example, sometimes they see a photo in a big venue with great lights and background. They don't know like what elements make this photo amazing. But they ask the same photo in their wedding while like their
Yep.
venue is very small, the light is very bad. So the very important thing is to have a meet. How I solved that problem? I solved it with the next client. I asked for a actual meeting face to face, and I brought my laptop with me. I showed them my actual work, and this is what you expect from me, and I need to understand their needs. I asked for every single detail. During the first wedding, I also had a very bad situation with there was not a wedding planner. and that makes me crazy all the time. Like I need to understand to know when is the cake is coming, when is the dinner is coming, when is the dance is so there was no plan. So after that I encourage the client to have a wedding planner. For some reason, for the budget reason, sometimes they don't have it, I do the plan for them to make my life easier and their life easier.
Do you
So
charge extra or did you do it for free?
for free.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But you charge them extra for the photography?
Because they don't have this planner, because they don't have budget. I'm not gonna charge them more for this. So I just give it.
And was this at the beginning of your career? Because I'm
Honestly,
sure right now you wouldn't do that.
actually, I still do it because if they don't do if they don't have a wedding planner because they don't have budget, I'm not gonna like push put the pressure on. I am a good.
Yeah, you're very good. You're too good. That's a free service of by itself as a career, and
Yeah,
you're doing
I
it for
love
free.
it. Like seriously, for free, like as a gift. I don't say for free. This is like this a gift.
It's a gift that keeps on giving
Yeah,
because then people are going to keep
of course.
referring to you because then they're going to say not only does she does photography, she also does wedding planning for free.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not my work. When I decide to put it on my list, then I'm gonna charge on. But this is like just it's okay.
Okay, so the first experience of failure was you didn't get the proper expectation from or you didn't develop the proper expectation to your client, and so then they were expecting the moon, and you delivered to them what you thought was, the stars, but they thought it was, nothing.
Yeah,
So and I'm sure that you had a lot of difficulties with them.
yeah.
So then you learned. Now why didn't you stop with that? Why didn't that discourage you and say, I'm not going to do wedding photography anymore, I'm just going to stay away from it?
Because I love photography. Because I have passion. Because
But you love wedding photography or you love photography?
I
I'm
love
saying why did you keep going with wedding
I
photography if
love
it was such a bad
like
experience?
being in the location during the wedding, it makes you like flying all the time. I love wedding photography. I love like being in the actual location. Of course, the process before and after is difficult, but during the wedding, I love like watching people taking the picture like for the moment, like the mom is crying and the dad is like having emotional. I love wedding photography, so I never
I
give.
can I can I can sense your passion. Um, okay, here's a question that I want to ask you that with regards to AI and how AI now is taking over absolutely everything, including the dental world. Now, I'm sure you're aware of Midjourney and you aware about other AI softwares out there. How is that going to present a challenge to photographers? And is that a threat to photography? Are photographers still going to have a business in the future with AI being developed as it develops more and more?
Yeah, like to be honest, I saw some results of the AI. I saw some actual results. As a professional photographer, I can figure out this is an AI because even like before AI, we have Photoshop, and you know like how photographers, some photo editors, not photographers, some how the editors work perfectly on Photoshop, but still you can feel like this is not like an actual photo. This is like we can say it like made by illustrator, not photographer. So AI is the same thing. It will not, of course, stop photographers. Definitely, AI maybe works on editing more than taking picture by itself. Yeah, of course, it will affect the editors, but not the photographers. There is a huge difference between the editors and the photographers.
So you're saying that still pursue photography despite AI now coming on board and becoming something huge.
Yeah.
Photography is still a viable business and
Yeah.
you can still pursue your passion.
Yeah, like when I take a picture and when I teach this picture for any of my students, I always tell them you have to work as less as you can on Lightroom or Photoshop because you are, as a photographer, you have to get as much as you can a perfect photo from your camera because you have all things you need. You need light, you need shadow, you need anything. You can create your photo. So that for me, like Photoshop and Lightroom for the minor things, minor editings, not the big editing, because I'm not an illustrator, I am photographer.
Well, I mean, that's excellent. Excellent advice. Now that leads me to the segue into your mentorship and your courses. And if someone wants to get in touch with you and learn from you, professionally or even as a mentorship basis, how do they get a hold of you?
Actually, I have my platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn too. I have also my website, and they can find my phone number. They can text me on WhatsApp, on even text message. I am open to any of them, whatever.
And
Like,
you have that information publicly on
yeah,
the
it's on
platforms?
my,
Okay.
yeah, on my
And
website.
it's Tami Photography?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll put that link, if they're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it on the description
Yeah.
so that they can click on it, and then that way they'll go to your profile and they can better contact you if they need a mentor, if they have any questions for you, or even if people who are watching this and are looking for a photographer, and that's the way that they can reach you,
Yeah.
and then you can advise them as to exactly what you do, and tell them all your experience and lovely things. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I certainly learned a lot. I'm enamored by your journey, really am, and I think what you've done, a lot of people wish that they can do, and I think that this podcast is very valuable for someone that wants to start something, even just non-photography related business, but see someone with so much passion, so much dedication, that they've paved their own way to success. And so I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to interview you. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. It's really like I enjoyed talking with you. Your questions are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks.